The Senate will come to order. Mr. Carpenter, would you please call the roll?
Senators Baumgardner, Bridges, Cook, Quorum, Court.
Excused.
Crowder, Danielson, Donovan, Finberg, Fields, Foote, Gardner, Janal, Gonzalez, Hill, Heisey, Holbert, Lee, Lundeen, Marble, Moreno, Pedersen, Briola, Rodriguez, Scott, Smallwood, Sonnenberg, Story, Tate, Todd, Williams, Winter, Woodward, Zenzinger. Mr. President.
Here, the morning roll call is 34 present, 0 absent, 1 excuse. We have a quorum. Senator Priola, will you please lead us in the pledge?
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the journal. Sarah Smallwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the reading of the Journal of Wednesday, January 16th be dispensed with and the journal be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
You have heard the motion. Is there any objection? Seeing none, the motion is adopted. Members, will you please join me in recognizing Representative Joe Rice, who is here with us today. Mr. Carpenter, would you please add Senator Court to the roll? Committee reports.
January 16, 2019, Committee on Health and Human Services, Ethics, Mayor's Committee as follows. Senate Bill 21 be referred to the Committee of the Whole. If every recommendation placed on the consent calendar. January 16, 2019, Committee on Health and Human Services, Ethics, Mayor's Committee as following. Senate Bill 44 be referred to the Committee of the Whole. If every recommendation placed on the consent calendar. January 16, 2019, Committee on Health and Human Services, Ethics, Mayor's Committee as following. Senate Bill 45 be referred to the Committee of the Whole. If every recommendation placed on the consent calendar. January 16, 2019, the Committee on Business, Labor, Technology has had in consideration a hearing on the following appointments. Organizations appointments be placed on the consent calendar and confirmed Executive Director of the Department of Labor and Employment effective immediately for term expiring the pledge of the Governor, Joseph and Maximo Barillo of Denver, Colorado, appointed. January 16, 2019, Committee on Business, Labor, Technology, Ethics, Mayor's Committee as following. Senate Bill 28 be referred to Committee of the Whole. Favorable recommendation placed on the consent calendar. January 16, 2019, Committee of State Veterans and Military Affairs, Ethics, Mayor's Committee as following. Senate Bill 33 be postponed indefinitely.
Senate Services.
Correctly printed. Senate Bill 84.
Announcements. Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. President, for that remarkably speedy morning. Just wanted to remind folks as we start to get into the swing of hearing bills, Senate Ag and Natural Resources will meet today at 1:30 and 3:57. Thank you.
Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask for a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Members, today is a great day for me because there's a birthday of a very special person for me today, and she just happens to be in the chamber with me. I want to introduce you to my lovely wife, Bonnie Sonnenberg, back in the back. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate recess. Never mind.
Committee reports.
January 16, 2019, the Committee on Judiciary has consideration hearing the following appointments and organizations appoints to place in the consent calendar from Executive Director of the Department of Corrections for term expiring at the pleasure of the Governor. Dean Richard Williams of Eagle River, Colorado, appointed January 16, 2019. Committee on Judiciary has consideration had hearing on the following appointments and recommends appointments to place in the consent calendar and confirmed. Executive Director of the Department of Public Safety effective immediately for term expiring at the pleasure of the Governor. Stanley Allen Hilke of Arvada, Colorado, appointed. January 16, 2019, Committee on Judiciary, after consideration of Mayor's Committee, the following Senate Bill 58 be referred to the Committee to hold a favorable recommendation placed on the consent calendar.
Announcements. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. In fact, I actually.
Sorry, I do have a quick announcement. I'm not all here today yet.
Madam President Pro Tem.
Sorry, folks. Good morning. Thank you, Mr. President. Finance Committee, we will be meeting over in the old library, which is also known as 271, for our joint meeting with the House Finance Committee and JBC. Please bring this book, your staff budget briefing summary. This is what we will be talking about. This is consequential, so yes, please be on time for that. I'm not sure what time they're expecting us, but let's say 9:20. Let's get over there by 9:20. Thank you.
Senator Janelle.
Thank you, Mr. President. Local government will meet in room 354, 15 minutes upon adjournment. Thanks.
Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. President, for this second announcement. Colleagues, One Colorado is hosting their legislative reception tonight. We'd love to have as many of you join us there as possible, and that will be at Hudson Hill this evening. So hope to see you guys there.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a very important announcement, actually. Quick reminder from Legislative Legal Services that Tuesday's bill introduction deadline is fast approaching. Your finalized bills will be delivered to the front desk for introduction unless you ask Legal Services to deliver the bill to you instead. If you wish to have a bill delivered directly to you instead of the front desk, you must have that bill completely finalized with your drafter by 5 p.m. next Monday. The office will be open on Monday, even though we as a Senate chamber will not be here. If you're not available to finalize your bill on Monday, you must finalize your bill by 5 p.m. this Friday, tomorrow. So please keep that in mind and make sure that if you are going to be handling your bill, get it to the front desk in time. If not, please know that you need to finalize it with your drafter to get it up here in time. With that, Mr. President, before anybody else joins me up here, I move that the Senate recess until 2 p.m. this afternoon.
You have heard the motion. Is there any objection? Seeing none, the Senate will stand in recess until 1400 today.